Hi everybody and welcome to Des and Lauren. Today we'll be speaking about interest rates and how they are continuously increasing.
We have had 10 interest rate hikes now in the last couple of months, and it's been tough for people, and there's an 11th one on the cards now. It doesn't look like this is going to ease, and the headline of this article in Daily Investor says interest rates will be higher for longer. So there's no reprieve. It looks like they might actually hike the interest rate again.
So a problem that I think a lot of people have identified, especially during pandemic and the resulting lockdowns, is how reliant and dependent each one of us are on the financial system.
Especially if you have debt.
Yeah, we can't live without it. Especially if you have a home and it's not paid up yet, which is a lot of people.
Cars
and all kinds of assets.
Well, now you can buy solar panels and solar installations with the Eskom problem, so more debt.
And that dependence on the economic system makes us weak, because when things happen out of our control, there's really nothing we can do. And we must be careful to put ourselves in a position where we will just have to answer to government power because of how the economy is affecting us. We spoke yesterday about SARS. We touched on SARS coming for people more and more, and we've seen lots of articles this year about SARS coming for people, and now this as well, interest rates. So the cost of living is becoming almost impossible, and this is almost inevitable when you have governments that are unsustainable the way we do across the world.
Well, central banks, we're beholden to them, and I don't know why, because they're not elected. The people in the central banks, the people that control what happens in the central bank, they're not elected officials, and people need to ask questions about that on this channel. We've spoken about that at length in the past. So we will talk about that more and revisit those things in future. And a lot of people just assume that there's a central bank and they do X, Y, Z, and it's constitutional that they do that. They have a mandate. But ask yourself why. Who's really in charge? And why do people have so much debt? We actually put out a poll yesterday where we asked people what their income is, and we have asked people in the past how much debt they actually have, and we will continue putting out polls on finances so that people can actually see that you can live on very little, be debt free, okay, not be as dependent on the financial system, and actually do quite well.
There are quite a few success stories from people within the community on this YouTube channel, and it's very heartwarming to see. And hopefully we can spread that further, because the people are definitely struggling. More people are going to struggle, and people are going to struggle more than they currently are. If you look at the political instability, not just in South Africa, but globally, as well as the economic instability that we're facing.
And at the moment, a lot of people are selling their homes, not because they want to, but because they can't afford their monthly bond repayments. And the fact that you have a bond is a problem to begin with. People just assume that when you come out of school and you go and study, do your tertiary education as if it's normal, then you must get a bond, and you're going to pay for a car, you're going to pay off your study loans, and you're going to be indebted for the rest of your life. It's enslavement, isn't it?
I think getting a bond is becoming more and more difficult for the younger generation.
Absolutely.
Almost impossible. You have to really earn a fortune to
maybe
afford
that's
a house.
not such a bad thing, because maybe that'll drive people to want to change things.
But that's what I was thinking. The economy for the past, as long as I can remember, has driven people to city centres, to metro municipalities,
Absolutely.
which subsequently drives up the housing prices in those metro municipalities. So I'm curious to see over the next 10 or 20 years, are we going to see a migration out of metros to more smaller municipalities,
more
and
affordable
rural towns? Yes. Are we going to see, and that will create a microeconomic boom in those small areas. So that is, to me, that's a logical chain reaction of what we're seeing now. Whether that will actually happen will depend on how psychologically dependent people are on the mainstream economic system, especially as they play out in city centres and economic hubs.
As well as influence from world powers that want people in city centres to control, monitor, track and trace them.
They do, and I was actually very fortunate to be part of the public participation for the National Development Plan, where they spoke about 70% of people living in metros. And
not rural.
Yes.
That's currently the case. 70% of people live rural, and they want to swap that around.
So we'll be the vision for South Africa's NDP plan, which comes from Agenda 21, is high dense population in a very small area.
Easier control.
It's easier to control people that way. Absolutely. Easier to find them when you owe SARS money, or easier to find them if they are not worshipping at the government's feet.
Absolutely. And with the training that we give, the workshops that we do, we actually give you many tools that can help you. One of the workshops that we do is financial freedom is within your reach, and you'll be able to do that workshop. And what it does is it shows you that with very simple things that is anti the economic system the way it is right now, you can change that reality in your life. And you don't need to earn 150,000 Rand a month to be in the 1%. You can live a very comfortable life if you have no debt. It changes everything, doesn't it?
It does, and if you, it depends on what choices you make and where you choose to live, that makes all the difference. We've got awesome feedback from our Financial Freedom Within Your Reach workshop, which is awesome to read. So thank you for our participants for giving us that feedback. And you can participate in our workshops at any stage. We will add you to the recording so you can view it in your own time. You will be emailed the worksheet, and we hope that these workshops can transform your lives. We designed these workshops so that you can be in control of your life and not be a victim or a subject to what's happening in the world, so that you can have some kind of control over your own destiny.
And then within Omega training, which is available to the public, that will be starting the rollout in September, we will be able to give you more skills for you to have more of an impact in your community beyond your own family, in your own home, and where you'll be able to be a leader in society just through the knowledge set that you have with regards to how to run a state or a group of people and maintain civility. And the more people know this, as a citizen in any country, you should have this information. The fact that it's not taught to you in school is very deliberate, because governments want to control the people within the countries. But maybe we should dive into the article quickly and just touch on what is being said, because this is not good news for people with bonds and repayments on cars, etc.
Very bad news. South Africa policymakers nearing the end of their steepest phase of monetary tightening since 2006 will probably raise the benchmark for an 11th successive meeting to anchor inflation expectations close to the 4.5% midpoint of the target range.
Yeah, I read another article earlier where it said we're around 6%, so nowhere near the 4.5% at this stage. So the chances of them increasing the interest rate again is very good.
Inflation expectations rose in the second quarter and were above the South African Reserve Bank's average price growth forecast of 6.2% for this year, 5.1% for next, and 4.5% in 2025. A rate hike may not be strictly necessary because of a stronger rand easing inflation and a significant deceleration in administered prices since the central bank last met in May.
So if they don't hike it, they will keep it the same probably and not increase it, but no relief yet. And this is bad, because they are saying that we are going to stay at these high interest rates for longer.
It's crazy because rates and taxes are going up. I think, might be mistaken, but the water prices haven't dropped since the drought.
No, there's a lot of people fighting about the city of Cape Town now increasing their electricity prices. Obviously just raking in and then saying, oh, but Eskom's charging more, etc. They are making a killing out of the higher prices in general. And in the end, who is it that suffers? The taxpayer.
Absolutely. So I would love to know in the comments, what are you doing or what have you done? Because I know a lot of people are debt free. What have you done to get debt free? Have you got any tips and tricks you can share with those in the comments section?
Yeah, please.
And we'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I think life's just going to get harder and harder in South Africa. But we have a beautiful opportunity. I see all of this struggle as an opportunity for us to create something brand new and to actually become stronger, not just individually, but as a nation. And that's something we haven't really had in this country.
Out of all difficulty comes opportunity. That is always the case. And we're not going to allow that just the richest people in the world or the world elites benefit from difficult times. We can do that ourselves, and we can do that by training ourselves, giving ourselves the information that we need. The Omega training will be for free. It's not going to cost anyone anything. We want all South Africans that are willing to become a part of that movement of people on the ground making changes in their lives, becoming debt-free, becoming self-reliant. We want that for everyone.
Yes, and that goes back to the strategy I've implemented with OM, and that is how we liberate South Africa is through liberating ourselves first. I mean, a whole lot of us are liberated from our own limitations and difficulties. That's how we liberate the entire country, and that's our mission.
And it'll make a huge difference to your daily life. And there's many people that's on this channel and within the Organic Humanity Movement community that have made huge changes in their lives, that are bearing the fruits of that now. And it's wonderful to see their testimonies of the changes that they have made. And these are simple things, Lauren. These aren't complicated things to do. And they don't cost a lot of money. In fact, they save you a lot just by changing the way you live.
Please remember to go and look at this article. There's a lot more information. It covers inflation in interest rate hikes in other countries as well in Africa. And remember to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear how you have gotten out of debt or are in the process of getting out of debt. I think that's one of the most liberating things we can do in these tough economic times, if it's at all possible and within your means to do so. And remember to like and share and subscribe. And remember, we have a Telegram channel as well called Des and Lauren. And this is where we post all the information, as well as polls, as well as just other.
And the link is in the description below.
The link is in the description. And then we're also on Facebook as a page and a group. So you can go and like and follow us on there as well.